Hey, welcome back to the series that we've been doing on Evermore. I've been going track by track to see if I can find a deeper meaning within each of the songs. Today we're on track 13, which is titled Marjorie. One of my comments did say that she is performing this on the Eras tour, so I will try to find a video of that to listen to as well. But before going into the song, I did do a little bit research to find the Era tour performance, so I do know going into the song that Marjorie is the name of her grandma. I don't really know much more outside of that, but I do have a little bit of perspective going into this one. So let's just get started.
Never be so kind, you forget to be clever. Never be so clever, you forget to be kind. And if I didn't know better, I think you were talking to me now. If I didn't know better, I think you were still around.
Okay, so this one's going to be clearly very emotional. Those first lyrics said, "Never be so kind, you forget to be clever. Never be so clever, you forget to be kind. And if I didn't know better, I think you were talking to me now. If I didn't know better, I think you were still around." So the thing I like about the first lyrics is it seems like it's advice that's echoing throughout her life. It's quite possible that her grandma has passed on given the pre-chorus, but the advice that her grandma gave her still sits with her. And I feel like the advice is just trying to tell you to be a balanced person, because the advice seems like it's saying be a good person, be a kind person, but don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Be clever enough to know when to walk away or when to stand your ground for certain things. I feel like that is very valid advice for most people.
What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive in my head. What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive, so alive. Never be so polite, you forget your power. Wield such power, you forget to be polite.
One thing about this lyric video is I assume this is her grandma, and there's so much footage because like all of these pictures definitely look like glamour shots, and there's like videos of her walking to the car. I think that's really cool because I'm thinking about the perspective of my grandparents, and to my knowledge, we don't have stuff like that. Like I'm sure we have some photos, but not such well-documented footage, which I think is awesome to have. The chorus in that beginning of that second verse said, "What died didn't stay dead, you're alive in my head. Never be so polite, you forget your power. Never wield such power, you forget to be polite." So it feels like it's continuing on with the advice, and I feel like this is also great advice as well, because you're saying that, kind of like what I said a minute ago, is like know your worth, be a powerful person, exude your power, but also don't undermine people and don't walk all over people. Because in the first advice, it was saying that don't let people walk over you. So when you're in that position, don't walk over others. Kind of like the golden rule where it's like, do unto others as you would want done to you, or something like that. Where it's like, just treat people how you want to be treated and you're going to go far in life.
And if I didn't know better, I think you were listening to me now. If I didn't know better, I think you were still around. What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive in my head. What died didn't stay dead. What died didn't stay dead. You're alive, so alive.
Does it also just seem like love then was so much more pure? I don't want that to sound like the whole thing where people are like, I was born in the wrong generation, but it does just seem like when you look at pictures of older people from the past, it seems like everyone was just so much happier then.
The autumn chill that wakes me up. You love the amber sky so much. Long limbs and frozen swims. You'd always go past where our feet could touch. And I complained the whole way there. The I should have asked you questions. I should have asked you how to be. Asked you to write it down for me. Should have kept every grocery store receipt, 'cause every scrap of you would be taken from me. Watched as you signed your name, Marjorie. All your closets of backlog dreams, and how you left them all to me.
Wow, that was incredible. It says, the autumn chill that wakes me up. You love the amber sky so much. Long limbs and frozen swims you'd always go past our feet could touch. And I complained the whole way there, the car ride back and up the stairs. I should have asked you questions. I should have asked you how to be. Asked you to write it down for me. Should have kept every grocery store receipt, because every scrap of you would be taken from me. Watch as you signed your name, Marjorie, all your closets of backlog dreams, and how you left them all to me. Where do I even start with that? I can so relate to the part where it's like things that annoy you currently with your grandparents or just people in your life, you don't realize how much it's going to mean to you until they're gone. So it makes you want to be more present in those moments and do the things that maybe annoy you right now, but you're going to appreciate that you did it later on in life. My personal family dynamic is one of my grandpas passed away like when I was like 2 years old. And then my other one, he did pass away when I was like maybe like 14. So I was also pretty young. I'm not acting like that was super young, but I also don't feel like I knew him well enough to know about his life. On the other end of the spectrum, I do currently have both of my grandmas. And this is already just making me feel like I need to make an effort to go visit them a little bit more and learn a little bit more about their lives, because I don't want to get on a tangent about my own life, but I have a story about my grandma about like I complained the whole way there. One time my family went on a cabin trip to like Tennessee, and we stayed in a cabin, and I have two sisters, so they always roomed together. So I was always kind of the odd one out on our family vacations as a kid. And when my grandma would come, I would room with her, which didn't really annoy me, but I just have such a vivid story of like we stayed on a mountain and our cabin said like beware of bears. So my grandma took that as like they're definitely like right around the corner. Like it was, and maybe they were, but they weren't. Every night we would be laying in the bed like about to go to sleep, and she'd be like, "You hear that? It's a bear." And I would get so annoyed because I was like, "Mom, they're not right there. We have a window. Like I can see that there's clearly nothing there." And she's like, "No, I hear it." And looking at it now, I laugh about it, but I remember being such a little jerk, and I hate that I was, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a jerk about it, and I regret that all the time, and we've talked about it. But I think that's so funny. It's just things like that you're gonna be like, man, I should have been better to those people while I still had the chance. Then ask you to write it down for me is such a cool lyric also, because I do think written word is such a good way to pass things on, because even if you were a perfect grandchild and you do learn about your grandparents' life, there's still going to be things that you don't know that you wish you did. And like having a written record of those kind of things, like diaries, are so cool to have. Personally, my dad is actually starting one for himself. It might be kind of early, who knows, but he's starting one of those, and I think that's going to be really cool to read one day, especially since him and my grandma, they both speak German, because my family's from Germany, and I don't know any of that. So I've always wanted to try to learn that. So maybe that'll be my incentive to start doing that too. Second time I've said this. Back to the lyrics. All your closets of backlog dreams and how you left them all to me. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I wonder if it's maybe her grandma is like supporting her music career or something like that. Because from what I understand, Taylor's had the dream of being a huge star from very young. So maybe her grandma was the only one that was like supporting her or saying like, you can do this, because she really was a one in a million story. So it would be nice if you would think that your grandma was one of the people that really believed in you.
Died, didn't stay dead. What died, didn't stay dead. You're alive in my head. What died, didn't stay dead. What died.
I'm trying to read the things that come up on the screen, and it looks like her grandma was in the cockpit of some event.
Didn't stay dead. You're alive, so alive. And if I didn't know better, I think you were singing to me now. If I didn't know
know if this is like her in older age, but this one on the boat looks a lot like Taylor.
I think you were still around. I know better, but I still feel you all around. I know better.
Passed away in 2003. That's a lot younger. That's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Taylor looks very young in that photo.
But you're still around.
Wow, that was I don't know, like the the very end with pictures with Taylor were very sweet, very very sweet. I also feel like this is the perfect love letter to grandparents, just because I've said it a couple times throughout this video, but I feel like it's a song that can relate to any relationship with your current grandparents, whether they have passed on like hers or whether they are alive. Because if they are alive, like in my circumstances, it makes you want to go hug them and go be a better person to them. But then it's also on the other side, on like Taylor Swift's perspective, it's almost sweet and nostalgic that it's like, yes, I know that you're gone, and every day I do miss you and wish I could be with you a little bit longer. But she's also acknowledging that she still has valuable pieces of her that she's going to live on throughout her life. So it is a song that could be sad about someone passing on, but it's taking those feelings and turning it into something positive of like, you're always going to be with me, and I really really love that. But overall, this was great, very emotional. I'm not sure how the live performance of this is going to work, so we can watch that, and I promise to try not to like cry. Before it starts, I'm getting this video from someone called Midnight Lovers. I'll link it in the description, but this is completely their video.
He's so kind, forget to be clever. Never be so clever, forget to be kind. And if I know better, I think you were talking to me now. If
This is such an interesting song to be playing on your tour. Like, I think it's great, and it seems like the crowd is very respectful because this does seem like a quiet moment for a concert. But it seems interesting given like how many like hits and stuff. But that just shows how like prevalent this song is in her life, and she feels the need to express these emotions. Oh, that's adorable. What was that? This kind of sounded like mic feedback a little bit, but something I wanted to mention about the tour also is like I'm going to it pretty soon, and seeing this it looks awesome. Like I've never seen a screen this big for a concert, but I still want to go back and listen to that part again. The reason why I wanted to listen to that is because I felt like I heard that in the studio version too. So I was kind of surprised that like production choice followed it to the concert, but it just seems like it's like loud vocal trackings. I said it already, but I love the TVs because she said autumn chills. It was in autumn, and I feel like that's also a time when you lose people. Not that it happens in the fall, but like fall and winter are when you kind of associate a little bit more sadness, but then spring is like new life almost. So I feel like this is so cool that it went to Frozen for the Frozen swims that they do. It's little details that make it so cool. This is another part where it almost seems like they're singing. All right, so that was the end of the live performance. If I haven't said this before in one of my videos, it definitely goes without saying that Taylor Swift has the incredible ability to make any song interesting. And it's not that I don't think the song is interesting, but the level of scale that you're performing this song for, and you feel comfortable to play probably one of the most emotional and just, it's not the hit. It really isn't. It's not the hit of any album. It's something that you want to play and that your fans appreciate it and can see how important it is to you as well. So I really love that. But thank you for watching. Let me know if there's any perspective to add to this song. I feel like I came into it knowing a little bit more than usual. So I think I hit most of it, but I'm sure you guys will let me know if I did miss anything. But thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.